All right, I want to welcome everybody out to the January 2nd, 2023, get used to the 23 Jenkins City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Ernestine.
Here.
Chuck.
Here.
Sean. Rick.
Here.
Sammy.
Here.
Garth.
All right, if y'all stand and check the please lead us in prayer.
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to be able to meet here tonight. And Lord, I just pray that as we discuss the business of our city, that we do so according to your will. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Could you join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Righty, in your packet you've got the December minutes. And motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, also we have the November financial report. It wasn't all the way completed. Finance officer was on vacation. Now we have the complete report.
I'll make a motion. We approve the November finance report as presented.
Second that.
All righty, have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Also, the December financial report. Entertain a motion to approve the December financial report.
So moved. I'll make it.
Okay, got a motion. How about a second?
Okay.
Sandy seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, up to you, Ms. Fields.
I think everybody, did you get one? Everybody get one of these?
Yeah, we passed it.
Okay. This is just our updates that we have so far. The CDBG is still in progress. It's due the end of this month, and Melissa Brewer is working on that. The wastewater treatment plant upgrade, the ARC pre-application was submitted 12/29. Melissa Brewer is in charge of that one. We have the LEPP grant for the tasers for the police department. It's still in progress. Trevor Pollard is working on it. And the last part, probably one you need to really pay attention to, is these are the grants that are going to become open. The AMLR comes Thursday. Is that the 5th? Okay, it comes open Thursday. The LWCF will come 1st of February, I think. RTP, end of this month, 1st of February. The RTP is going to open, and the ARC Power opens in February. So start thinking of the projects you want, because quicker we get them in, quicker we
Okay.
can get that.
We've still not heard anything from Landwater or RTP on the ones we've already submitted and did the, we got to do presentations for both of them, but, okay. What about the CDBG for the building? Is that the one she's working on?
Yeah,
Okay.
for
Okay.
the city hall.
Okay.
Yeah. It's due the end of this month, so it should be, she's almost finished.
Got a question about the wastewater treatment plant, the bonds. When are they scheduled to be paid off?
They were paid off years ago.
So we don't have any bonds outstanding now?
Not with the sewer plant.
Okay.
No, and then.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, hopefully we got, and I was going to do this in the engineer report, but we got some clean water money through the COVID relief money, and that's one of them we're matching the ARC, so we're taking 87,000 and leveraging 400,000 on that one. And then we've also got another 150-some thousand that we're going to be able to do some repairs. Just general stuff that's wore out down there, so hopefully we can get a lot of the maintenance stuff up to date. So that's both been
So I
working.
think, November they don't, they gave split up the Letcher County.
Yeah, that's the ones we got, I
Yeah.
got them turned to maintenance because we already used our first round for ARC match. So we took 87,000 and we're applying for another 400,000, making almost $500,000. Because it's working, but there's a lot of stuff tears up. We've got one speed reducer down right now, and there's some kind of brush that cleans a stream that has to come from Switzerland or something. I don't know. Craig's been working on it for 4 months, trying to get one in here. So yeah, that's all there.
Well, the reason I brought that up is that, half of the people's water bills are sewer here in town. And if I remember correctly, when those bonds were first laid out, that when they were paid off, there was supposed to be a reduction. Not fully, but some reduction in the sewer part of the bill, because part of that was going to pay the bonds. And I don't think we ever did that.
And we'd have to do a study to see where it's at. Most of what we've done, even with fixing the water lines, is we was hoping that we get all these water lines fixed and there'd be a savings and we could reduce. But the cost of materials and bills and all that catches up. But we could definitely look at it and see if we're close
Well,
or
that's-
we're way ahead.
Inflation has probably eat up the bond savings, no doubt.
That's
But,
true.
I
Yeah.
think we need to go back to the original bond to see, we've got to abide by what it said in the bond agreement.
Okay. Try to pull that and see what's in the language. All right, the engineer's report. The meter parts that wasn't here hopefully made it from Mexico, and they're going to finish installing all the meters, and we can close that one out. The funding for that I&I study, that's part of the match for the ARC and the clean water money, so hopefully we can identify. After the last sewer project we did, we got down to a little over 300,000 a day in flow, and then gradually over time it got back up into the 500,000 and 600,000, and with big rain events it goes over 1 million. So hopefully we can find what's causing the infiltration and inflow. The flood housing assistance, this is, I don't know if you all saw the announcement in Knott County about the project over there. We're working on one here in Jenkins. It's a little bit early to talk a lot about it because negotiations with the landowner, but we've been working with the governor, Rebecca Goodman, the Energy Cabinet Secretary, and Ray Perry, the Public Protection Cabinet Secretary, to put this project together similar to that down there to have a place for homes to be built. If people are looking for a place to build a home affected by the flood or not or whatever, it would be a new subdivision type with businesses and different possibilities, mixed use project. So it's early in that one, and with the negotiations going on, I don't want to say a whole lot about it, but they had it in this plan. So they've been working on estimates for water and sewer. Transportation Council's been working on estimates for the road end and different pieces it's going to take. We're working with One East Kentucky on business development and retail strategies plan for the commercial property that's involved in. Corrective action plan, wastewater treatment plan, all that's in place, approved, and been worked on, and that's part of the using the clean water money to do some upgrades on a lot of just maintenance problems that's where stuff's wore out. But hopefully the ARC grant will get us in a place to redo some of that. The 805 bridge replacement, that deal is off and on. Last I talked to the Transportation Cabinet, they're looking at trying to federalize the last portion of that to replace these two, they call them bridges or box culverts, and widen the 805 project, but it's still being talked about. We're still seeking funding for the Raven Rock water and sewer extensions. They got the $1.7 million to start development up there, but a big piece of that development is going to be getting water and sewer up there to the things that are built. We talked about the clean water. We're still looking at stormwater improvements. A lot of what we're doing in stormwater improvements is looking at mitigation type opportunities through FEMA that maybe we can go in and upsize some places, put some head walls in. There's still the stream shaping and the $9 million that's going to come to Letcher County. We are part of that. I don't know how much exactly will come back for our streams, but we're a part of that one. The Elkhorn Lake Dam improvements, if you've seen the big omnibus bill that was passed, and it was passed by the Senate first and the House, and then it was signed by the President. In that bill, Senator McConnell had the dam, the Jenkins Dam, put in for the Army Corps to take over the study of that dam, the repairs needed, the funding opportunities and all that. So I watched the news, but I was watching real close if that one got passed, because that's going to make that possible to move that part forward. May take a while, but at least they will be working on the study, and that'll open up a lot of federal money that we hadn't had opportunity to go after before.
Does it include dredging?
It's a study that look at all of it, look at the safety, the quality, and the dredging and capacity for the water, so it's all of it. Now, I'm not talking to anybody from the Corps specifically about it through this bill. I've talked to them other times, so they understand the project, but they've not made it to town to say this is what we're going to do or not do, because they just passed it. But anyway, I'm excited about that piece of it. We also got a brick grant still in for it, and in the conversations with the state about our housing projects, it's been talked about trying to maybe move some money over in to do some repairs and get it in some kind of shape. Phase 6, we're still looking at our last phase of water, which will be B&O Hill, Forest Hills. I think there's one more small spot that we didn't get in all the other water lines. We're also looking at 23 in Jones Branch, taking water down 23 for future development in that area. That sewer I phase 2 is the clean water and ARC part. And that's all we got for engineering. Gets us down to ER Assist. Susan is back home this week. Likely, what we did, we made our deadline December 25th to get all of it in. I don't know how many projects there are altogether between roads, road repairs, shoulder repair, culverts, head walls. We got 4 what I call major slides. The big problem we're having is getting engineers to come and look at those and set up projects. So that's our next steps. They'll come look at it and see if there needs to be soil nailing, or there's just different criteria about how far it is to bedrock and that we have to follow. So they'll be coming in looking at it. Once we get that done, FEMA will come back in, and there's a chance of site inspectors. We're talking to them about how that exactly looks and how much they want it marked up. And I've got 2 cases of orange paint to try to draw a clear picture of what they're looking at when they get here, so they don't have to spend a lot of time figuring that out. So we've got all that moving and heading in the right direction. I just want people to be patient as they can. It's just an ongoing thing that you have to deal with. We meet every 2 weeks in a conference call and make sure we're up to date with our project manager. So we've got project managers, we've got all kinds of people that's in the compliance side of us to make sure we're moving along like we need to. And ER Assist has been a real great help in keeping all that stuff straight with the projects, because used to it was fill out the forms 3 times and same stuff. Now it's all one line, and the projects is in there when that site's up and working. Council got anything you want to talk about tonight?
Looking at this, what's compressor? Is that 12,000?
It's the breathing air compressor.
Okay, so it's not a...
No, that's the old one. The old one we had been here since 88 or 89, and I had tinkered, fixed, and kept it running as long as we could. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And they shopped around, and that was actually made in West Virginia. It's American made. The one we had was Poseidon, and you had to call Germany to get parts, and you just about had to speak German to make them understand what you're looking for. So, no, that's a new breathing air compressor. They raised the money to buy that. And all I've got left is there's several projects heading in the right direction, and I'd like to talk about all of them tonight, but some of them's a little early on, and like I said, negotiation with property owners and the next pieces. But there's really 4 major projects that over the past 15, 20 years that we've been talking about working on, and I think you're all going to see a lot of movement headed in the right direction on those different projects. So I'm excited for this new year. Everybody's talking about it can't be as bad as last year, and I mentioned a while ago, I don't think we've got any volcanoes on the mountain, but who knows what might show up, but people have really showed up to help. They're still doing that. If people are still working and figuring out what's next, Corps staying here let's see, they're here all weekend too, most time Corps here with caseworkers, so if you want to come by and talk to them, they can help match you with people that's doing the next project. We still got volunteer groups coming in to stay. As the weather warms up, I'm sure we'll get more. We're set up at the old high school gym to be able to house about 30 volunteers, because that's one of the biggest problems they're having is a place to stay and not having to travel from Pikeville back and forth from different places. They get hotel rooms, so we're working on getting them set up when they get here to be able to stay close. And
What about Smile Face?
they about staying, yeah, when their B&B's not booked, it's got room for like 16 people, I think, so they've been using it too, so. And everybody's been a big help. Smile Face done a great deal. God love them, the diaper bag. I mean, there's just so many groups, I hate to start mentioning any of them, but everybody's trying to help, and you know, somebody call, hey, we got this, you know, nobody needs it, they'll call around, they'll find somebody that needs it, so slowly but surely people are getting what they need a little bit over time, so I hope they can keep their hope alive that they're going to get back to close to where they was before, so. I want to thank Jamie for keeping up Channel 99, keeping all this going, but I was also going to mention, now they're, thanks to the city clerk, we're getting them on YouTube, so if you've watched it, missed it, you can go on YouTube and go back and look at it about any time and see what's going on. He's pointing the camera at you in a way. Anyway, I appreciate you all. I'm excited about what we've got going on, and I can't wait till the night we can talk about more about what's happening, but we're going to get there, and wish everybody a happy new year, and let's keep up the faith. Thank you.
Make a motion, we
Oh, I need a motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Motion and second. All those in favor say bye.